Have you lost weight only to gain it right back after returning to your routine? Did your diet work for someone else but not you? Rockin' That ID Life helps you understand your genetic makeup to find a lifestyle that fits your needs. Together, you and RockinThatIDLife.com can focus on your health and meet your goals today. That's RockinThatIDLife.com.
Center Ice Brewery is a proud sponsor of Let's Go Blues Radio. If you haven't heard, Center Ice Brewery beer is now exclusively available at beer stores around town, so make sure you pick some up on your next milk and eggs run. That's Center Ice Brewery. Please drink responsibly.
This is the summer edition of Let's Go Blues Radio. I am your host, Jeff Ponder. Thanks for tuning in for another summer episode of Let's Go Blues Radio. Make sure you stay tuned in with us every week as we bring you exclusive hockey content you won't find anywhere else. Support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by RockinThatIDLife.com, where we help you make every workout, every meal count, do life better. And by Center Ice Brewery and CenterIceBrewery.com, St. Louis's wonderfully crafted hockey-themed beer found at local grocery stores and liquor stores in the St. Louis area. This is franchise episode number 367 all time. This is season 10, episode 49, the Ivan Barbashev episode. So we've got a lot to get to this week. We got some exclusive content I'm going to tell you about that's coming out on YouTube and Facebook on Thursday morning, July 21st. But Matthew Tkachuk, that's all I need to say, right? Seems like he's been kind of the topic of conversation for Blues fans. I'll say that if anything happens, there will be a show to hear our reaction. And yeah, I don't know. I think I've said on this show before, I don't think we'll ever see either of the Tkachuk brothers in a St. Louis jersey. I just don't. I think a lot is true in the fact that they would love to play for their hometown team, but I don't see it being. I don't know. You hear all the time, like Toronto, for example, always saying like, oh, yeah, we're going to get this guy because he grew up a Leafs fan, and obviously it happened with Tavares, but we hear it with Stamkos, and there was somebody else recently, and it happens all the time. Well, he grew up a Leafs fan, so he wants to play in Toronto, and it's like, just because he grew up a fan of that team doesn't mean that's where he's going to go. So I just don't put a lot of stock into, well, he's coming to St. Louis because he's from here. Pat Maroon was obviously an awesome case. Paul Stastny, Chris Butler, all those other ones. It's been great, but it's not as common, I think, as we'd like it to be. So, but again, this does seem like a possibility. So we'll see if Armstrong puts together a nice package. I think you're going to see some fan favorites leave, and I say some if you're going to go get Matthew Tkachuk. So prepare yourselves for that. If you're really wanting Matthew Tkachuk, there's going to be some players lost that you're not going to want to lose. So I think this is just something to think about. But, man, I tell you what, if the Blues added Matthew Tkachuk and you had a top line of, let's just say, Tkachuk, Thomas, and Kyrou, or Tkachuk, Thomas, and Tarasenko, I mean, look out, NHL. That would be pretty sick. So we'll keep you updated on that. Well, we're not going to keep you updated. You're going to hear from multiple people if that trade happens, but you'll hear our reaction very shortly if anything does happen on that front. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think it'll be closer to the season, but what do I know? We'll find out soon enough, I'm sure, if there's going to be a trade imminent in the next couple weeks, but again, I don't think there will be. So I mentioned exclusive content from Let's Go Blues Radio on YouTube and Facebook tomorrow, Thursday morning. We actually took a look. Kurt and I went and took a look at the new Edwardsville ice rink, the RP Lumber Center in beautiful Edwardsville, Illinois. Right down the street from him. I think he said it was about 15 minutes from his house. A little bit of a hike for me, about 40 minutes from South County. Beautiful rink, though. We took a tour. I got on the ice with Vanessa, our friend Vanessa Graf, joined me as well, and she's a former host of the show, and hopefully will be coming on a lot more often. We love having Vanessa on. But yeah, she went with me. We jumped on the rink together. Kurt did miss jumping on the rink with us, but did take the tour with us. Very nice facility. anyone in the area who is looking for maybe a new gym, maybe a place to go skate. They've got a teen center for kids after high school, getting out of school and wanting to go find a safe place to hang out. I mean, there's so many cool amenities at that rink that we feature on that. So make sure you check that out. Just some little exclusive bonus content that comes out with this episode. So why I bring that up and why it's coming out this week is because we actually recorded an interview with Vanessa at the rink while we were before we took the tour. And the reason we had Vanessa on again, for those who may not remember, she has that Discord channel where she discusses and talks with a big community about the Springfield Thunderbirds. Big Thunderbirds fans in there, and they talk about all the games, and it's a really cool community. So we had Vanessa on to talk about their big Calder Cup playoff push. They went to the final, if you didn't know, and they made the Blues proud. They lost in 5 games in the final, but it was very exciting. And we discussed, there's a little bit of a dated reference of Charlie Lindgren. We did record this before free agency, so we do talk about him for a little bit, but we also talk about guys like Will Bitton, Matt Kessel, Sam Annis, a bunch of other guys that are in the Blues prospect pool, and Will Bitton comes to mind because he was just re-signed. There's a lot of talk of the Thunderbirds, and if you listen closely, you may even hear a couple comments from Mr. Kurt Price himself. Oh boy, how exciting! Not really, he was there for the interview as well. So we actually sat up in the nice little loft area at RP Lumber Center and recorded this interview that you're about to see or hear if you're podcasting. So remember, though, we bring you this type of content all summer and more. Plenty of other stuff coming too. People might want to know what the next episode's going to be. I don't know, because if there's going to be some breaking news, may have to push some stuff off. But we got plenty of other cool stuff coming up, so make sure you stay tuned with us all summer. We're going to hear from our friend Vanessa, and you're going to see a little bit of the Edwardsville ice rink if you're watching the video. Coming up next, after we hear from our friends over at RockinThatIDLife.com and Center Ice Brewery. It's springtime, and I know in my house, it's such a good feeling to open up the windows and let the breeze roll in for new life in my home. Your body's no different. Detoxifying your body can reduce any inflammation, purify your blood, help with weight loss, improve sleep, and boost your circulation. Don't just go after those detoxifiers that only focus on the gut and bowel, though. If you're going to do it for real. The all-new Detox Box from RockinThatIDLife.com cleans all your systems, flushing your kidneys and bowels, detoxifying your liver, and restoring your microbiome for full homeostasis. You'll feel re-energized, restored, and renewed. Make your order now and receive a free detox water bottle with your order. Visit RockinThatIDLife.com or email Dustin at RockinThatIDLife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you to receive an additional 10% off your order. That's RockinThatIDLife.com, and give your body that much-needed spring cleaning today.
Do you like hockey? Of course you do. Do you like beer? Of course you do. Are you 21? Let's hope so. If you answered yes to all of those questions, run on down to your local beer distributor and pick up a 2-4 of Old Arena Lager, the Beauty IPA, or any other delicious hockey-themed beer from Center Ice Brewery. That's right, Center Ice Brewery beer is available at various beer stores around town, so check around for the one closest to you. That's Center Ice Brewery. Let's go Blues!
We are at the RP Lumber Center here in Edwardsville, the new ice rink that popped up here in the St. Louis area. I am joined by a friend of the show, Vanessa Graf. And Vanessa, this has apparently become your new home the last couple weeks since it's opened.
Yeah, pretty much. I actually just got the membership beginning of last week. I get full access to the weight room, which is down that hall right behind us. Full access to the thing over here. I get free public sessions, and they have them every single day of the month.
That's impressive. So public sessions, so they have just skating sessions every single day.
Yeah.
Rinks don't have
Sometimes
that.
I have it twice a day, but usually it's once a day, except 4th of July. They were closed,
Well,
obviously.
What a bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
Patriotic jerks. What about like drop-in, stick and puck? They got all that going here too, right?
Yeah, they do. If I remember correctly, for this month specifically, they have some nights where you get 4 different sessions of stick and puck.
Wow.
And I think some of the other ones you get 1 or 2 drop-ins depending on the days of the week.
Nice. That's
So,
awesome.
It's really good.
So we're sitting up top here upstairs. As you can see behind us, there's a track actually. And for those of you that are kind of maybe just listening to the episode, we're going to have some bonus content that's going to be thrown up that's going to kind of take you around the rink. We're going to show all that. So anyone in the Edwardsville area, if you're interested in checking out the rink, we're going to do that for you here on Let's Go Blues Radio. But today I'm actually going to talk with Vanessa about the Springfield Thunderbirds. If you are just living under a rock and you didn't know, they went to the Calder Cup final, lost in 5 games to, I guess now a rival, right? Because they're a former Blues affiliate, the Chicago Wolves. Yeah, pretty big playoff run for the Thunderbirds.
Yeah, no, it very much was. So it was actually the first playoff run for the team itself. So
Wow.
yeah, the previous iterations of Springfield hockey, they've gone to the Calder Cup, they've won different championships, but the Thunderbirds themselves, this was their first time going.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first 2 rounds, they swept the competition.
Wow, that's impressive.
Mind you, the series are shorter, they're best of 5s, but still.
It's still
You're
impressive.
still sweeping AHL players and professional athletes.
Yep.
So it's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. So the goaltending, I think, was kind of the talk for at least Blues fans. Seeing, Joel Hofer scored a big goal. We talked about it on the show. And then Charlie Lindgren, obviously, having a pretty good playoff run. I saw it, I think it was in Game 5, the final. I think he lost like 3-0, but he was still one of the stars of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about the goaltending that we saw from the Thunderbirds guys.
Yeah, no. The goaltending, especially Joel Hofer, he played out of his mind the entire playoffs. And when Lindgren got called up to cover for Bennington after he got injured, not saying anymore.
We don't need to talk about that guy.
Hofer literally took over the net, and he completely just took control over everything. I think he posted 2 shutouts during the postseason, and he had that amazing goalie goal where first he even said that he doubted he would do it, and then he said, fuck it.
Yeah, what? Just do
Just
it.
send it.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
And then once Lindgren got 1 or 2 games back under his belt, he started playing his usual Chucky sideburns, just played amazing.
So how did that work when Lindgren got called up? Obviously, it's Hofer's net, but when he came back, did he instantly take the net over? Did Hofer kind of lose the net?
So what they ended up doing was they kind of went back to like a 1A, 1B style, just because they know that both these goaltenders are amazing.
Right.
But they want to make sure that they're not overusing the goaltenders. Because, one, Hofer is still very young, and he's still very much has room to grow.
Right.
And even just seeing what he did there, that's still a huge bonus for the Blues in the future.
Yep.
And with Lindgren, you want to still keep him peppered in case something does possibly happen to Hofer, especially in the playoffs. You want to at least make sure that they're still good.
Right.
And after he had sit through however many games up in the NHL while Husso tried to defend against the Avalanche, he was a little cold.
Yeah.
So he needed 1 or 2 games to get back up to speed, and he did.
So obviously, goaltending talk is big right now. Now we're going to be posting this episode a little later. So the most recent news for you and me was Ville Husso was traded. So it looks like with Charlie Lindgren being UFA, maybe he comes back, maybe it's someone else. But if it is Lindgren, are you pretty confident in his abilities to step in as a backup?
No, I'm very confident. And even a lot of the Blues players during the 5-game stretch that he was up, they loved his play. They loved how confident he was. They loved how well he just calmed the entire ice down. And he even did that in the AHL. For much of the regular season, he was actually the go-to goalie. While Hofer was in that more of a learning curve, because Lindgren, he is older, he's had a lot more experience.
Right.
going between Laval Rockets and Montreal Canadiens when he was part of that organization.
Right.
So it just really came down to Hofer was learning, Lindgren was the de facto starter, but then come the playoffs, Hofer took that learning, put it to use, which gave Lindgren the ability to focus on his game, then eventually gets called up, then comes back down, gets one or two, and yeah, he just plays out of his mind.
Awesome. Good to hear. So we talked a lot about goaltending. Was there anybody offensively or defensively that kind of stood out to you that you definitely want to mention?
So there's actually a couple players. One was Sam Annis. He was initially signed by us, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago, just as a depth forward, something that we could really use.
For those wondering, that is the guy that everybody makes fun of his last name.
I want to say he was part of the Minnesota's organization to start. I don't remember exactly, but he had a career year, and he is going to be a UFA. So he put up spectacular points for AHL season. He's never reached this point before. And he just showed up and literally took control of the ice offensively. Now, during the playoffs, he was pretty consistent, but he wasn't the de facto surprise point scoring forward.
Right.
That was actually Will Byton, who we got from Minnesota during the trade deadline.
Yeah, that was for pretty much nothing, right? Who
Yeah.
did they trade for him? Was it future considerations?
I want to say it was future considerations.
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like,
someone would like to check that real quick.
Yeah, we do have a fact checker in the building here. Actually, Kurt Price is off camera for anybody who's wondering.
Yep.
Where's Kurt and Bill? Well, Kurt's here, so he's our fact checker. But yeah, so that's interesting.
Yeah, Will Byton was one.
Is he locked up or is he still? Is he going to be a free agent? Another thing to look up for our fact checker.
Yes. I do not remember what his contract was. Another good one was actually Mackenzie McEachern.
Okay.
He was really steady on, I believe it was the penalty kill for the Thunderbirds. And he was also just that really good leadership depth scoring for them as well.
That's awesome.
He really showed up physically, and he just really dominated play along the boards.
Yes?
Yep.
Will Byton reported to the Blues AHL affiliate, the Springfield Thunderbirds. Originally drafted by the Montreal Canadiens in the 3rd round in 2016. The Ottawa, Ontario native has spent the last 4 seasons with the AHL's Iowa Wild.
Yep, so he was with Minnesota.
Okay, that makes sense.
So from Montreal's organization, then to Minnesota, and then to us.
Okay. Yeah, so Mackenzie McEachern, though, had a really nice playoff. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's kind of fallen out of favor, but
a little bit.
He comes back. It seems like every couple
years. He comes back from time to time, yeah.
Yep.
I don't think the Blues will try to re-sign him because I know he's going to be UFA as well.
Yep.
I think they'll likely pass because I think he's around 29 years old now, and he's not really been consistent to stay at the NHL level. So I think maybe allowing him the chance to maybe try for Arizona or Detroit maybe. Maybe somewhere where he might actually get a shot. Well, sometimes you may not even... He could even try for Tampa Bay.
Well, I could try for Tampa Bay. It doesn't mean I'm going to make it. So what about somebody like Matthew Kessel? He was a guy who stepped in kind of late and scored a big goal, I know, in the final and overtime winner and their only win in the final. What did he look like on the rink?
So Matthew Kessel, I think he actually finished his NCAA season. I don't remember what school he goes to. But his defensive play was really spectacular. That goal was very, very pinpoint accuracy shot from the point. It was beautiful. Defensively, he was really good along the boards, especially during the puck battles. Especially with Chicago Wolves, they have such a high offensive team because it's all the prospects from Carolina.
Yep.
And they always draft the high-end forwards.
Yep.
They tend to lack on the defensemen. That's my own personal take.
Yeah. Well, that's why they wanted Dominic Bach.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I still wish we kept him.
Yeah? Big fan.
I want a German on the team. So
a German. Okay. Well, call up Jochen Hecht. Maybe he's available.
Yeah. Lance was quite upset that Bach was traded.
Oh, Lance was. Okay. Well,
he's still mad about that.
our friend Lance from the Drop Podcast. So Alex Lyon was the one that was in net for the Wolves, right? I mean,
I think so.
he's pretty good, and he had a pretty good final and kind of stymied the offense for the Thunderbirds.
It was kind of a combination of that along with the Thunderbirds offense. I think they finally hit a gas point where they were just running out of steam after that first win. And Chicago was still on like high octane.
Yep.
You started to see it as the games progressed. Just Carolina outpaced them endurance-wise so much the last 3 games of the series.
I can imagine. So, for those that may not know, that don't maybe pay attention to the Thunderbirds at all, what's the fan support like in Springfield?
It's actually got a deep history with this. I want to say the first Springfield team, I think, was back in the 30s or 40s. So they've had a pretty consistent fan base.
If I remember correctly, friend of the show, Chris Kerber, used to broadcast for them back in the day.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, back in the 90s, I believe. So
I didn't know
I'll
that.
fact check that, but I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Listen to the episode Kerber was on. He'll talk about it.
They have tons of events. They have special jersey events, which is something very common in the AHL. It's a little more allowed than the NHL because the NHL is very finicky.
Yes,
with
I know.
We're not doing very super special jerseys. Like
we'll do them for warm-ups, but we're not going to wear it for the games.
But no, San Antonio Rampage, they would do a Cinco de Mayo night.
Right.
So they would have a full Mexicano-style jersey, and it was beautiful.
Oh, I loved them. Yeah, those are great.
Yeah. But
no, I love all the jersey nights.
Yeah, the NHL I wish they would step their game up a little bit on what they could do with the jerseys.
Yeah.
Just for like special events.
Yep.
But the AHL outclasses them so much in that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean even like the military appreciation nights, they wear those jerseys. Not my favorite jerseys, but it'd be cool to see them play the game in them.
Oh yeah.
They don't do that at all.
Yeah.
Do you want Chris Kerber's LinkedIn profile?
Sure. Yes. Let's hear it.
It goes back. So he graduated Miami University in '94.
Right.
And then he broadcast for the Birmingham Bulls from '94 to '96.
Maybe that's who it was. Yeah.
And then the Springfield Falcons. He was broadcaster.
That's it.
So that's
there it is. I know my Chris Kerber history.
So '96 to 2000, he was broadcaster for the Springfield Falcons.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
I think that's where on the show we talked about meeting Ole Jokinen and said he was just the biggest dick.
Oh wow.
Awesome. So why don't you let our listeners know, I know we talked about it last time you were on, but you've got a Discord channel where you can talk with other fans from the Thunderbirds and watch games. How does that work?
Yeah. So the Discord is St. Louis Blues. It's also from the Reddit subpage for the St. Louis Blues. Basically, we just talk a shit ton about hockey, games, other media. Like, it's just a nice place to hang out. Talk about hockey, talk about a bunch of different stuff. I'm also in Lay on Twitter, the L Girl. I'm in her Discord as well, so we're constantly talking back and forth on that.
Cool.
But, yeah.
Awesome. And you can be found on Twitter at VRAIN91, right?
Yes.
With that.
Yep.
Awesome.
VRAIN91.
Awesome. Well, again, if you're paying attention just the podcast, make sure you tune in. We're gonna be releasing a video of this rink here, what it looks like, and I've even got my helmet cam with me, so I'll be going out on the rink and showing some of that. So you guys can laugh at my terrible hockey ability. So thank you very much for joining me, Vanessa. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
Well, big thanks again to the Edwardsville Rink RP Lumber Center for letting us film up in their little loft area up there. Very nice spot, very comfortable, very chill place to hang out, especially if your kids are out playing or, your husband or your wife are out playing and the rink and you just want a nice climate-controlled area to be sitting in. And also thanks, of course, to Vanessa for joining us. Always fun talking to her. I'm sure you'll be hearing from her more when the season starts next year or this upcoming year. And but again, next week, what are we going to be doing? I don't know. It all depends on what the Blues do. If the Blues do anything, we'll have a live show. If they don't, we'll do another one of these. I've got a couple of these other interviews lined up with local programs in the area and couple other things planned too. So make sure you stay tuned with us. We'll post on social media when we know what the show will be, but again, that could change at a minute's notice if the Blues decide to do something, which I think we're all hoping they do. So support for Let's Go Blues Radio is brought to you in part by ID Life, the world's only truly personalized vitamin platform based on a health assessment of your DNA. Visit rockinthatidlife.com for more information. That's rockinthatidlife.com and get 10% off by emailing Dustin at rockinthatidlife@gmail.com and tell him Let's Go Blues Radio sent you. And by Center Ice Brewery, which provides drinks brewed right here in St. Louis and is available throughout the city and county at numerous grocery stores, liquor stores, and bars. Visit centericebrewery.com to find a vendor near you. That's centericebrewery.com. That will do it for the Ivan Barbashev edition of Season 10 of the original St. Louis Blues hockey podcast, Let's Go Blues Radio. Thanks for listening, and don't forget, we'll be back next week with a show, and the week after that, we'll have a show, and the week after that, we'll have a show. I know that joke is just not getting dumb as we go on in the summer months, huh? For Kurt Price and Bill Day, I'm Jeff Ponder, and I'll talk with you next week. Again, thank you to the RP Lumber Center in Edwardsville. Make sure you go check out that exclusive video of the tour we took, as well as us getting on the rink. That's going to be available Thursday morning, July 21st, so make sure you check that out for some extra Let's Go Blues Radio content if you're interested in checking out that new Edwardsville rink. This was Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone, let's go Blues and Thunderbirds.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at fourth.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
I want you to have a heart attack and die so that we never have to do this shit again.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again. They're rough and tough and got the stuff to win. They'll always get one more, no matter what the score. They are quite a hockey team, my friend. They never give a single goal away. And to prove they are champions every day. 'Cause when it's said and done, they'll have them on the run. These old St. Louis Blues are here to stay. St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to